What's up? Happy Friday. Starting early today, about a half hour, and the market is wanting to pull back. And you can hear the neighbor's dumpster about to get dumped. So, perfect timing to start the stream. And market is pulling back. Let's see if it holds. I have a very cheap put. As you can see, I bought it for $2. And I was just about break even right there as we saw, and we'll see if it continues. If not, I'll just cut losses on this tiny contract. And let me just double check, make sure all the audio is good. I believe so. Alrighty, slowly getting into it here. And on the other side of things, let's take a look at futures. Been a nice day in trading futures. Pretty low stress. I've been pretty patient for the setups and just kind of, caught the meat of the move on a lot of them. Wasn't too early for them. But yeah, strong bounce right there. So we'll see if anything happens with SPY. Now this is what it looks like when I hedge. And I'm not currently holding a hedge, but this is a screen I created so I can compare them side by side. For example, if I was hedged with a put with this one, I would pick something like, maybe not a, that's too cheap. Something like that next to this. And again, this is too cheap too, basically, but this is how I have it set up when I'm hedged. Let's go back over here so we can see things a little better. And I also have the heater on right now. Hopefully it's not too loud. I'll turn it off in just a second, but it is freaking nippy out here. I'm not too excited for winter. It's bittersweet. If it wasn't for the days getting so short, you know, that's the part that really drives me crazy. But anyways, today we're gonna also spend some time talking about SMCI and Visa or Nancy Pelosi or her husband. I don't know what her husband's name is. I didn't see it immediately pop up, and I decided not to look it up because I guess he's just Nancy Pelosi's husband. Um, but yeah, dumping his shares of Visa 2 months before the DOJ comes after him. So we'll spend some time and we'll also go through the Visa articles and the Hindenburg Reseach on SMCI. Pretty big scandal going on there. And I thought I had SMCI up already. Actually, I think it's on a different screen. So let's just scroll and find some random music here. Take away the genre. And we'll see. What I would look for on support for SPY, I believe it was around 565, but let's just double check here. We need to look at the hour. So around 565 on the hour chart. But also what lines up perfectly with that, if we get to that point, I don't think we stop. There's a good chance we continue through and fill this old-timey gap we got there. But we'll see, There's definitely no guarantees it happens today. It's Friday. Hour and a half left in the day. So, there is some time for moves to be made, absolutely. But you can see we are in this upward channel on the 1 hour chart. And we're kind of looking for that break. So actually, I'm going to delete these old trends. Get them out of my face. And I'm really pushing my computer to the limit, so I'm trying not to do anything too fancy, but I can't help it. And I know drawing lines is not fancy, but I feel like the more I'm doing on here, the more my computer's, it's being worked. So anyways, like, I think as I'm saying that, now I'm getting a notice that it might be glitching. Hopefully not. Let me double check the make sure I'm connected to the right Wi-Fi. Yeah. All right. Well, I think we're good. We shall see. If I have to restart the stream, it is what it is, but I think we're good. I'm still getting an error. And yesterday I was wrapping up my video, and I know like the last 10 minutes I was froze, but I couldn't see it. So, you know, day 13 of the live stream, still figuring out the bugs. When will that end? I don't know. But SPY continuing to sell off, and I want to take another futures trade here. If we break support right here, it looks like it wants to. And I'm up 350, so I'm willing to take a chance, even though this is not a great entry. I would like it to bounce a little bit, so trying to be patient. Let's see if we can get some music on now. All right, Sunlit Souk. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. All right. I think we are going. All right, and over here you can see I have SMCI, Visa, and SPY in these smaller charts because we're going to go over them. And we are looking at futures up top, ES, MES. Maybe we should dabble with NQ today. I don't know. I'm feeling a little feisty. NQ is much more aggressive, but you can have huge gains in such a small trade. It is amazing. And being up 350 on the day, you know, that does give me enough cushion where I could risk 150 and still hit my profit goal. Of course I don't want to give money back though, so it's a fine line, you guys. So many times I've come into the stream being up $200-300 and then I give it back live. It's not great. It's not great. I don't like doing that. But you know, that's what happens when you try to just trade for the sake of trading because you're streaming. Pretty much. It just makes me less patient. But it is what it is. I will get better at trading live, that's for sure. Can only go up. So glad it's Friday though. Another week in the books, been here every day. More to come. Thank you guys so much, I appreciate it. Seems like YouTube is slowly getting my impressions out more. I know more people are seeing it as they go live. And it usually takes, 15 minutes before I even start seeing notifications sometimes. And I know sometimes they don't even go out, so. Just know, come power hour every day, this is where I will be. Unless I say otherwise. This music's not doing it for me though. All right. Begman from Yankton. Okay. So we'll see if we build support here and then continue down. A little pit stop. I feel like I'm on the verge of sneezing. It is horrible. Absolutely horrible. Alright. Bear with me for a second. I am going to, first of all, move these charts back. I'm going to share the stream like I should. I'm so bad at self-promotion. I'll spend all this time making videos, making thumbnails. And then it's hard for me to even like post on Instagram. You'll go to my Instagram and you'll see nothing about this. I'm just terrible about promoting it. So yeah, working on that. So please smash that like button. Subscribe if you're new. I really appreciate it. We're doing trading, market talk every day. Whatever's going on, we'll talk about it. Consistency is key with everything in life, guys. No matter what you're trying to accomplish. Just know you can do it. Put in the time. I truly believe anyone can learn how to trade. It's not hard. You certainly don't need to be a freaking scientist or a mathematician. Math was never my strong suit in school. Recognizing trends and patterns, geometry, that was much more up my alley, so. Nice bounce, nice bounce. But I don't think it'll hold. All right. And we are going to be covering SMCI and the Nancy report. The Nancy report. Today on the Nancy report, we are going to be covering some serious business. All serious. No jokes around here. Trading is serious, alright? There's no room for fun. Alright. Could you imagine? Wow, my stomach just growled so loud. I feel like someone might have heard that all the way in frickin' Kansas. Fun fact, my grandpa's from Kansas. Alright. What are we listening to, you guys? What's really happening? A prairie dog? Is that what we're doing? I'm curious, what is the shortest? 2 seconds? Cartoon sting. Oh, it's just gonna play through them, huh? I wonder how long this would take. Some of these sound familiar. People have been using these. Ooh, strong bounce. Alright, coming up more on resistance. Oh yeah, that one goes hard. Some of them are too short. I need more. Just give me a taste. Okay. Are we gonna come back up? Looks like she might. Now imagine if I chased it right here and took a put. It would have been so dumb. Take these 2 candles as a sign of a potential reversal, or at least a bounce. But now I would expect resistance for sure to be in this area. These are trends you'll see time and time again. Maybe I should change this music. It's kind of distracting. Alright, what's the longest? 32 minutes. Ambient? Something really creepy about the ambient music. You see that? Creative Commons Attribution 4.0. Mozart. Is anyone feeling Mozart? That's what I'm talking about. Who else is doing this? Come on. Who trades to Mozart? I do. That's how freaking smart we are around here. We trade to Mozart and Mozart only. We are the Mozart traders. Officially. Established. What's today? September 27th, 2024. Mozart traders emerge. Alright, resistance. Come on. Could be a good entry for a put. We shall see. You guys feel smarter listening to this or what? That's the real question. Is it loud enough? Second question. Alright, spy. I appreciate the volatility. Now can we pick a direction and keep it moving? Now looking at the hour chart, it's not looking too great. Coming up on support. Could go either way at this point. This music reminds me of like old Disney movies. Okay, downtrend on the 3-minute. Coming up on resistance. Resistance on the 15. Did something very similar yesterday though. We'll see if it repeats. Yesterday we had a huge 15-minute downwick that actually only lasted a couple minutes, I believe. Let's see. Let's just take a look at yesterday real quick. Pretty similar. Will she recover? Alright, I'm going to set some alerts and then we are going to move on over and cover some of these topics that are in the title. Now, I will warn you guys, the Hindenburg Research report is pretty lengthy. So I'm going to try to go through it. Bear with me. You know, hopefully it's pretty interesting. But yeah, I was scrolling down. I haven't read it all. I only read, you know, the first few paragraphs, to be honest. So we'll actually start with Nancy Pelosi because that's much shorter. And Nancy's probably a little bit more popular. So you guys might be a little more interested in what's going on there. Oh my gosh, I'm intermittent fasting right now. Which if you've never done, I definitely recommend. I've done it for like 10 years, off and on. Turn my heater off. But yeah. Anyways, what I'm saying is my stomach is growling right now. But there's lots of health benefits. We can dive into that sometime. You know, the plate's a little full for today. This isn't all for today. I really just have a couple notes on here. SMCI, DOJ launches investigation, and the Hindenburg Research is really what led to that. And Nancy Pelosi, husband, dumping his Visa stock. So we're gonna go into those details now. Let me just double check my alert settings, make sure they're, you know, somewhere I want them to be. I don't want to be notified and disrupted. unless it's breaking out of this range. It does look like it is gearing up to be like yesterday though, so I'm gonna set this right here, and you can see I'm getting this resistance level off this 1 minute chart. Looking right here, so I'm looking for the break over these points of consolidation that we've had before, and you can see we're currently consolidating where we did last time and bounce. So if we can break through essentially all this volume that was created here and get a nice push, we could continue and have a repeat of yesterday. But I want to see a clean break over 572, probably really 25 or so. But if we do, we can start seeing some similar candles like this, but on the green side. But again, on the downside, lots of room to run. So I want to look for that break below this previous bounce point right here, which was also where we chopped around a little bit last time before it fell through. And you can see we shot right through those points the last time. So once we get back to here, I expect some, some bouncing to occur, and hopefully that's when I get notified. And by the time I'd say all this and get it out of my mouth, it's gonna be damn near to that point. Oh boy, good and bad, right? The quicker these moves happen, the more money you can make. Can't emphasize that enough. So it looks like it does want to come back down. Let's go over here to the futures. Come on. Losing strength, so it bounced exactly off where I said. It's no coincidence. I'm no fortune teller. Just technical analysis. You can see why I did it. But if you're only looking right here, you wouldn't know how far this was going to go down. You'd be like, oh man, it's going to go all the way back here, without knowing there's really actually some support. So don't get lost in the sauce. And it did not quite trigger my alert, so I could have just looked away. But it was kind of all playing out as I was talking about it anyways. So hopefully some of that helps you guys. I know everyone watching comes from so many different levels, from probably first day to more experienced than I am. And I can learn something from everyone watching. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm happy to help. I'm happy to accept any of your guys' strategies that you have. I'd love to look at them. Always looking for ways to expand my knowledge. So anyways, let's move on to them. I crack my Red Bull, clear my throat. Still getting over this cold a little bit, so it's that residual. You just feel it creeping, like you're trying not to cough. Your eyes almost start to water. And you're just jamming out to Mozart. It's my life. Shout out Red Bull. Looking for your sponsorship, Red Bull. Can be an extreme trading channel. You can do it. I'll trade on a skateboard. I'll trade on a half pipe. That'd actually be pretty cool. You can make it happen. Shout out Red Bull. Okay. Trying to will that into existence. So before I sit here and watch this play out anymore and get distracted, let's go on over and see what Nancy's up to, huh? Now the real question is music or no music while we go over this. And I'm also going to take this off the screen. Hopefully that's actually, I'll just make it smaller. Okay, so God, come on, I think I'm frozen. Come on! Work with me. Alright. We got Visa, we got Spy. Spy just hit my alert. Go figure. Not like I saw that coming. So here's SPY. Come on. Alright, hopefully I'm not still frozen. I know it is possible. Which is just super unhelpful. So you guys that sit here through that pain, I really appreciate it. I know it's not ideal. And I know. Doing my best here. So we just broke through resistance. SPY looks like it wants to make another day like yesterday. Look at that. If we can continue and break this downtrend officially, which would be here, then it looks like it could be a repeat of yesterday. Now looking at the hour chart, you can kind of see if I can keep it within your guys' line of sight. Right there. So very similar. Bounce. Now will it continue? Volume at 24 million right now. Yesterday it was around 30 million at this point. I think I started the stream around this time yesterday, so I believe it was at 30. So relatively less volume, but still some similar moves to be had. Alright, alert set. I'm going to bring up the bottom alert a little bit now. Because we come back down here to 571.75-ish, I'm going to be interested. Once we break through this choppy mess right here, not a whole lot has been traded in this zone, so that's where I want to look. Alright, now let's move back over to Nancy. Now we got Visa stock down below. Actually, I'm gonna put Visa up here. I just cut my put I had. There's only 150 left on the books. It's gonna do on the computer, but I think I'm froze right now. So super unideal. I blame Mozart at this point. Crap. Should I restart it? Well, I hope that it's working. I'm just kind of going with it, and hopefully it unfreezes. It looks like it's good on my end, so I know some of you guys are there, and I appreciate you more than you probably really know. Okay, scoot just a little bit. Now hopefully this isn't like, I feel like it just looks a little crowded on the screen. What is this? I don't even know if this is the article I wanted. Wait a second. Am I being sabotaged? Oh, there she is. There's Nancy. Okay. Okay. Maybe I'll just move this down a little more. I'm a little indecisive right now, you guys. How's that? Okay, let's dive in to the Nancy Pelosi Visa situation. Now, Nancy Pelosi's husband sold Visa shares 2 months before a DOJ lawsuit. Some say the trade shouldn't have been allowed. What do you guys think? Should she be allowed to trade? Sorry, of course I get distracted immediately. Just trying to make sure this is going. So, okay, back to Nancy Pelosi. Should Nancy Pelosi be allowed to trade? What do you guys think? Her husband sold the Visa shares 2 months ago before a DOJ lawsuit, and some people are pretty upset about it. Now imagine if you're holding Visa and you're heavily invested in it, you're not given this information, but he's allowed to just make these moves. We all know that she has this information. It's kind of murky waters, so it probably shouldn't be allowed, but it is. It's definitely a loophole they have where she can gain all this information and then her husband's allowed to just make the trades. But on the plus side, if you look at it, you can follow her trades because it's all public information, and there's advantages to that too. So without her being able to trade, we wouldn't have any insight into that. So I don't know, pick your poison, I guess. I think I'm unfrozen now, right? Okay. So let's go on. Nancy Pelosi's husband dumped 2,000 Visa shares in July, just weeks before the payments giant was sued by the U.S. Department of Justice for monopolizing debit markets. So if you look at July here on this chart, July is right around here. So July to August. I mean, so he actually would have been way more benefited by holding. It's right around the area where I think he sold. It said between 500,000 and a million. We'll get to that part of the article in just a second. But here is the chart. So he sold sometime in July, 2 months before that was announced. As you can see is where it's taken the hit, but the hit really just brought it back to the point where he sold it. So that's where we're at with that. Now, I'm gonna drop this down. What do you guys think? Leave it? Actually, it's just blocking an ad. I don't know. I'll just leave it for now. So anyways, back to the article. Thank you, Yahoo Finance. The timely trade, which documents show was worth at least 500,000, has once again set the rumor mill running about the former House Speaker and her venture capitalist husband's investing strategies, which have netted them an impressive 9-figure net worth over the years. What is this, part of the ad? They snuck that in. Some believe the pair have too much influence and institutional knowledge to trade fairly, and the Visa case potentially helping them to avoid a drop in the stock value amid the DOJ lawsuit, but they have repeatedly brushed off any allegations of wrongdoing. So yeah, potentially is the big word there, because as you can see, the stock just dropped to where it was when he sold it, and he would have been better off to hold it longer and sell it, right before that lawsuit took place. So I don't know, this is kind of iffy for me. Obviously he probably shouldn't even be allowed to hold these sorts of stocks technically, because I could see how that could cause issues and definitely takes away trust from the rest of society, because we don't have that information. But as you can see, he sold in July, and where it's at now, it's actually higher than it was when he sold it. So that's something to keep in mind. Pelosi spokesperson said multiple times that the Congresswoman does not own any stocks. The money moves are being made by her husband, Paul. Paul's the big... Oh, that's right. Paul Pelosi. I knew that. I forgot his name somehow. Wait, was he the one that was attacked with the hammer? Or is that someone else? Damn, I don't know. Someone was attacked with a hammer, which is pretty crazy. The money moves are being made by her husband and is required by law. She then discloses his trades to Congress via periodic transaction reports. So here is what has pissed people off. Another timely trade, the DOJ filed a civil antitrust lawsuit against payments giant Visa on Tuesday, September 24th, just a few days ago, for anti-competitive conduct and monopolizing the debit market. So that is the reason for that drop that you see to my left, over there. It claims Visa allegedly paid its rivals to keep them out of the market and hinder innovation. As a result, it holds about 60% share of the debit payments market and earns about $7 billion annually in debit swipe fees per the DOJ. We allege that Visa has unlawfully amassed the power to extract fees that far exceed what it could charge in a competitive market, said Attorney General Merrick B. Garland in a press conference released announcing the lawsuit. Merchants and banks pass along those costs to consumers, either by raising prices or reducing quality or service. As a result, Visa's unlawful conduct affects not just the price of one thing, but the price of nearly everything. True. That's pretty crazy. Deep. This goes deep. So deep you have to listen to Mozart. It's the only way to take this in. Visa stock slumped shortly after their announcement, but unlike some investors, the Pelosi's came out of that dip without too much pain. That's because Paul sold 2,000 shares worth between $500,000 and $1 million on July 1st. So looking at July 1st, I mean, on July 1st, the high was 265 with a low of 260. It's currently at 276. Now, I'm not defending Paul, but I would assume he probably thought they probably assumed it was going to tank much harder, or didn't anticipate the rise in it before it crashed. So really the uptrend that it was on really kind of kept it from falling down, probably to what would have been the 250 levels at least. Going back in time. 250, 240, yeah, 225. We'll see if it reverses. That's a pretty big issue though, so we will continue this article and figure it out. Okay, moving on to the meat and potatoes. There was no public indication at the time of the transaction that the DOJ was preparing to sue Visa, thus being insider information. This case bears some comparison to another well-timed trade Paul made in December of 2022 when he sold 30,000 shares of Google stock just 1 month before the tech giant was sued over alleged antitrust violations. Now, I do remember that happening, and that one's much more fishy. That one stinks a lot more, if you know what I'm saying. Banning lawmakers from trading. A lot of people think it should be banned. What do you guys think? Let me know down below. Also, let me know, is this Mozart too loud? Does it help you think? What's it doing for you? Is it pissing you off? I could understand. I can change it. Goes from calm to crazy. There is a growing chorus of Americans who think lawmakers, almost for some reason I thought that said lawn makers. And I was like, there's no way they're talking about lawns right now. There is a growing chorus of Americans who think lawn makers and their spouses should be banned from trading because of the unfair advantage they have as well-connected people with the inside track on legislation that might affect a company or industry. Christopher Josephs, a tech entrepreneur who runs the Nancy Pelosi stock tracker on X, I think most of you guys are probably familiar with that, is firmly on that camp. On X, he highlights politicians' trades so we Americans can invest alongside. or even better, get them banned from trading. So his whole goal is to exploit this so that eventually they get banned. But in the meantime, let's ride that wave with them if we can take advantage of it. In a post on Monday the 23rd, one day before they filed the antitrust lawsuit, he described Pelosi's timely sale of Visa shares as wild. But in a follow-up post, he was quick to state, "No one's proven she trades on insider info." How would you prove that? I don't know. Because she's not actually trading, first of all. That's really the loophole. In an effort to put an end to the suspicion around the Pelosi's trades, her spokesperson stated she has no prior knowledge or subsequent involvement in any transactions. So I guess Paul is just, creeping around the corners when she's on phone calls and then going over to his office and locking in. In an effort to put an end to the suspicion around the Pelosi's trades, her spokesperson... Oh wait, I just read that. Ron Geffner, a former and I am struggling to read right now. Thank God it is Friday. 45 minutes left in the day. Let's take a quick moment to check on Spy. See how she's doing over there. We have just been kind of looking at Visa. So, man, that took a minute to load. Computers. She's hot. Even though it's 71 degrees. Which I guess doesn't sound that cold. It's 71 in here. When you're sitting still, it feels a little colder, I guess. So yep, still within that range where I set the alerts, just chopping around. And I don't give a damn what it's doing until it breaks out of that range. Back to Pelosi. Ron Geffner, a former enforcement attorney with the Why can't I read, you guys? This is crazy. Alright. How are we ever going to get to the Hindenburg? Here we go. Ron Geffner, a former enforcement attorney with the Securities and Exchange Commission, encouraged players to get the conclusions. Remember that jumping to conclusions game on Office Space? I know some of you guys know what I'm talking about. Before public opinion judges Pelosi unfairly, it is important to determine who engaged in the transaction on her behalf, as well as whether it was part of a broader change of her portfolio. The former speaker did disclose several other trades made by her husband around the same time as the Visa sale, including the sale of 2,500 Tesla shares worth up to $500,000 and the purchase of 10,000 Nvidia shares worth up to $5 million. Damn. Yeah, she really they just dumped all that just to add more Nvidia to their profile. Nvidia, one of the most popular stocks on the planet. What to read next? I think that's it. So that is what's going on with Pelosi and the situation with Visa. In case you're interested in, you might have seen it in the news, in the media. Lots of drama around it. People wanting to hold them accountable. So what do you guys think? Do the Pelosi's need to be banned from trading? Have they made enough money? Or do we want them to continue to make these inside trades with hopes that we can catch a piece of it based off of their transactions? I don't think so. I think it's best to build up your skills, be able to follow trends, and make your own trades. I don't think following anyone is the route to go. But with that being said, it's not a bad idea for long-term investment. She has that inside information. She's making those trades for a reason. So, it's very controversial. A lot of those companies are good. It's not like she's just buying them to buy them. They're good companies. And she knows what's going on behind the scenes. So, yeah. So we will move on to SMCI in Hindenburg. Now we're still just chopping around here. I'm going to move this other screen back. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm just gonna change this to SMCI. Look at that. I don't think this music is doing it, to be honest. Oh wow, I have like 30 seconds left of this. We went too long with it, you guys. What should we do? I need something uplifting. Alright, I'm gonna have to select the mood. Some happy hip hop? Is that what we're doing? Happy hip hop. 53 songs. Alright, randomly going to pick one, whatever I stop on. That I don't want to do that one. We'll try kicking it with the aliens. Okay. Alright, we got about 42 minutes left in the day. It's Friday. It's getting quiet. People heading out for the weekend already. Friday's a great day just to get the trades done early in the day and move on. Which is where I took the majority of my trades, as you can see. I'll show you guys. These are... Oh, I only took 4. So those are my trades from today. 4 for 4, plus 37, plus 137, plus 150, and 3750, which I think I made that one live, yeah. I either made it live or right before I started. I think I was live though. I don't know. It's all blurry, guys. It's all blending together. Stream 13. Still figuring out the kinks. So just watching this for a moment. I just wanted to see how it would react right here. And then we'll go over to SMCI. The Hindenburg report. I think I'm getting tired from this music. That is not good. Whip. What is going on here? Is happy just not the right genre? Is that the problem? Or mood, I mean? Maybe we'll mix it up. Bright, happy, angry, and inspirational. Turn up, burn up. Now we're talking. It almost sounds like the beginning of Loud by Mac Miller. I think it's called Loud. Similar, very similar. This is better. This is what you're supposed to listen to when you're going over the Hindenburg. Come on. Alright, let's just go over the Hindenburg. We are just chopping around. For the love of God, can we get some good price action? Let's just go over and look at SPY real quick. Zoom out on all these big dogs. Oh man, that looks funky. That's not right. Google with a nice day. Tesla's still running, recovering its losses from yesterday. Still within that range. Alright, let's go over the Hindenburg. Thank you guys so much for being here. Please smash that like button if you haven't already. I truly appreciate it. And please subscribe if you're new. And right now we are going over the Hindenburg Research report from SMCI. Yes, it is Power Hour, but I'm gonna remove that for now. Because when I watch back and I see those, it bothers me. So that's why I'm doing it. But anyways, hopefully the music's at a great level here. It's always quieter when I watch it back, so. But I also don't want it to be too loud. Might cross the bear. Alright, Super Micro. Fresh evidence of accounting manipulation, sibling self-dealing, and sanctions evasion at this AI high flyer. Now this was actually a month ago today. So, yeah. So this was actually published a month ago today. But you can see SMCI really feeling it. Make this bigger. This is the 4-hour chart on SMCI, and yesterday I believe it was down like 12-15%, something like that. So it should be interesting to see how it reacts from here. You know, there's lots of room to the downside or possible up. Some people still believe in the company, but after something like this, it's gonna be a long road to recovery for them. So let's dive into it. And hopefully none of you guys that are watching this were holding it through that dump. But if you were, you'll live to trade another day. Alright. Let's see here. Here we go. Supermicro Computer Inc. is, and again, this is from Hindenburg Research. Shout out to them. They spent, I don't know how much time and money doing a real deep analysis into this company and interviewing them and going into some extreme depth. So actually I'm going to turn down the music just a little bit. I just want it subtle. Okay, so Hindenburg Research, serious business, you guys. All right, no smiling, no laughing, no crying, straight to business. Here we go. Supermicro Computer Inc. is a 35 billion server maker based in, I guess I should. Let me start from the top. This is the beauty of live stream. You guys get to see how dumb my outtakes can be. This is something I would have probably just filmed, like in my, different recording setting. But yeah, now you guys get to watch me do it. So hopefully this is a little bit entertaining while we can all learn. Anyways, from the top. Arms dealer? That's aggressive. Okay, here we go. Where were we? Supermicro Computer Inc. is a $35 billion server maker based in Silicon Valley, California, that has ridden the wave of AI enthusiasm. No, it has been quite the wave. AI is something you've heard about for, decades, but really in the last few years, it's finally been like, oh wow, AI is something to really watch out for. It's pretty crazy to have watched it all evolve. Coming from Windows 95 when I was a kid. I remember my dad getting his first computer, and the box was so big I could play in the box the computer came in. Try doing that today. Our 3-month investigation, which included interviews with former senior employees and industry experts, as well as a review of litigation records, international corporate and customs records, found glaring accounting red flags, evidence of undisclosed related party transactions, sanctions and export control failures, and customer issues. That is a mouthful. 3-month investigation they were doing on them. Crazy. In 2018, Supermicro was temporarily delisted from NASDAQ for failing to file financial statements. By August 2020, the company was charged by the SEC for widespread accounting violations, mainly related to $200+ million in improperly recognized revenue and understated expenses, resulting in artificially elevated sales, earning, and profit margins. Less than 3 months after paying $17.5 million SEC settlement, Supermicro began rehiring top executives that were directly involved in the accounting scandal per litigation records and interviews with former employees. A former salesperson told us almost all of them are back. Almost all the people that were let go that were the cause of the malfeasance. Almost totally butchered that word. According to a lawsuit filed in April 2024, Supermicro waited only 3 months after the SEC settlement before restarting improper revenue recognition, recognizing incomplete sales, and circumvention of internal accounting controls. Completely fudging those numbers. Even after the SEC settlement, sorry, I was just checking my screen down below. Even after the SEC settlement, pressure to meet quotas pushed salespeople to stuff the channel with distributors using partial shipments or by shipping defective products around quarter end, per our interviews with former employees and customers. Wow. Push salespeople to stuff the channel with using partial shipments. They were trying to get anything out the door they could. One former salesperson described pushing products to distributors based on made-up demand forecasts. Completing a partial shipment, then later coming up with an excuse for why the rest didn't happen, and now you have a problem, accounting problem maybe. Now that is very interesting. This is actually my past, whatever, my expertise. What I used to do as profession was, planning and forecasting. So this is right up my alley, the logistics. I was a purchasing planner and planner, buyer, and this is right up my alley of what I used to have to do. I used to have to come up for our forecasts to then give to our distributors to so they can then start making our products for us. So the fact that they're lying about the forecast is a big deal, and honestly I can see how easy it is to do, for sure. If we've had people that just completely sucked at their job and would either just give a bad forecast because they weren't calculating it correct, or who knows why they did it, but it's definitely something that happens. Alright, former employees told us Supermicro's business culture has not improved. Former senior sales director, I don't think the behavior of the company in many ways has changed in the past years since I've started, and I started shortly after that delisting problem. 3 senior employees who left in early 2018 amidst the accounting scandal were rehired, individually serving as a member of the board of directors, and 2 a consultant serving close to the CEO, and 3 a VP of business development. Wow. Former CFO Howard Hideshima left the company in January 2018 and was later individually charged by the SEC with accounting violations. In May 2023, he was hired by a key related party owned by Supermicro's CEO brother. And I can't tell you guys how many times I read Super Mario in my head before I change it quickly and say micro. A new CFO praised by coworkers for his integrity was hired in 2018 to help the company recover from the scandal. He helped Supermicro relist but resigned in 21. A former sales director suggested that he was edged out by the company. So, this is all pretty typical, man. This is why it's best to create your own business or learn how to trade so you can control your life. Doesn't matter what company you work for, as long as you work for someone else, you can be fired. And I actually, long ago, I used to be the driver for the same company that I eventually moved up within. Long story short, we fired our president, and I had to deliver his personal belongings to his house on an island, which he lived on an island, not his own island, but it was interesting. Just one day there was just rumors of him doing sketchy stuff, sketchy things. Next thing you know, I'm knocking on his doorstep, and it's pretty wild. So at that moment, I was like, there really is no job security. That guy had been with the company for 12 years at the time, had grown it from, a few thousand in sales a month to millions. But yeah, he didn't own it. He might have owned actually a small percentage of it even, but that doesn't matter. It's not enough. Moving on here. A new CFO, I already read that. Beyond fresh questions around its revenue accounting, we found that Supermicro's relationships with both disclosed and undisclosed related parties serve as fertile ground for dubious accounting. Yeah. It is actually pretty wild how easy it is to be fucking around with the accounting numbers. It really is. You have a lot of trust put in your hands when you're in charge of the money, because it doesn't take a lot of effort to move things around to make things appear false. Absolutely. And if you ever sell your company, that's something I went through. Again, I was with the same company for over 10 years, so I saw a lot. But when we were sold, we had accountants come in for a year plus auditing, going through files, and it's a huge deal. Um, so, for example, disclosed related party suppliers Ablecom and CompuWare, controlled by Supermicro CEO Charles Liang's brother, have been paid $983 million in the last 3 years. Ablecom is also third-party owned by Supermicro CEO Charles Liang and his wife. So this is where the family, what was the word they used? The sibling self-dealing. That's where that all comes into play. That's that sibling self-dealing. Now, hopefully I don't lose my spot. The relationships seem oddly circular. Supermicro provides components to the entities which assemble them and sell them back to Supermicro. They also rent warehousing and factory space to Supermicro, even though it has its own sprawling factory. Man, yeah, that is just a recipe for disaster. The related parties seem to do little other business. 99.8% of Ablecom's exports to the U.S. since 2020 were to Supermicro, and 99.7% of CompuWare's U.S. exports were to Supermicro per trade records. Wow. That's some damning evidence right there. In addition to the concerns around the disclosed related parties, we found evidence of undisclosed related parties. The youngest brother of Supermicro CEO owns 2 Taiwan-based entities that make server components. Media reports and former employees indicate that entities are Supermicro suppliers. Wow. Both entities operate out of the Supermicro Science and Tech Park in Taiwan, but Supermicro has not disclosed any party transactions with them. Another brother of Supermicro CEO operates a disclosed related party, but is also the director and shareholder of undisclosed Hong Kong and Taiwanese entities, which appear to resell Supermicro products and provide professional OEM services. It operates out of the same building as related party CompuWare. Man, and my computer is about to die. Are you kidding me? First of all, let's take note of where we are. We are uh, right here. And look how long this article is. So we're basically at the top. You can see how long, if I scroll and scroll, we are just scratching the surface of this. Which shouldn't be surprising considering it was 3 months of them spending time. Look at that. That's a heavy scroll. Not even all the way through. I don't know if I could physically read all this. This is probably the same length as the first Harry Potter book. Oh my god. Wow. And my computer has probably 20%, I'm guessing. My crossbar. One of these days, I swear I'll bring the charger in here, and I'll stream for all day. So let's try to figure out where we just were. Actually, no. Let's try to move on slowly here. I don't want to breeze through the whole thing, but it is so long that it looks like it could actually take me hours to read this thing. Another brother of Supermicro CEO operates a disclosed related party. Did I already read that? Yeah. Collectively disclosed and undisclosed related parties pose accounting risk related to revenue and recognition and reported margins. A former executive told us basically it's a governance issue and just kind of shows you that Charles doesn't give a shit what you think. You're right to worry, though, that you just never know what's lurking. Jeez. So it sounds like they're doing all sorts of fuckery, to put it lightly. If I were to summarize the Hindenburg Research Report, SMCI has been doing a lot of fuckery, and it needs to be stopped. I definitely will not be investing in them. If I invest in anything related to them, it's in some puts. Because this is, I mean, this seems like it is, the top of this report is the tip of the iceberg. I mean, this report is a whole entire iceberg, and we just touched the tip of it. So you can see they have all the receipts. Now I'm just going to kind of scroll until we get to that next part right here. But I highly encourage everyone, go to hindenburgresearch.com if you want to read this whole article. Now, my initial plan was to kind of read the whole thing, but that was just ignorant. So ignorant. So yeah, background. A $35 billion server manufacturer based in Silicon Valley. Supermicro is a $35 billion high-performance server and storage solutions manufacturer founded in '93 and headquartered in San Jose, California, in the heart of Silicon Valley. Wow, I didn't know it was that old. Interesting. I was 2. The company originally listed on NASDAQ via a $64 million initial public offering in '07. Wow, so they held out all the way until '07 and it was only worth $64 million. Pretty interesting. And now 35 billion. So they would have been a great investment if you loaded up on them in '07. Oh man. Especially if you got out, when they were up on their highs. Because if, as you can see, looking at the chart here, I will change it to, we'll go look at the weekly, just so you can see how this thing's squeezed. Look at that. Hit 1,229, and now it's only at 400. Bam. Look back here at 34. In May of 2022, SMCI was what? $50-ish? That's wild. Now that's what I call a freak off. Supermicro is a rack scale total IT solutions provider. So this is what they look like. That's intense. So when you see those huge server rooms, there's a chance that it was a Supermicro component. They accounted for 92% of the company's net sales in 2020. Oh, sorry, I should read the beginning. Their servers and storage systems accounted for 92% of their sales in 23. Geographically, 61% of its latest quarterly revenue came from the US, followed by 24% from Asia, 10% Europe, per its August 6th report. Now, I did read a brief recap about this. Now, let's go over this to wrap it up. Now, I got this from Deckmar Trades, but it looks like he got it from someone else. But here we are. Supermicro computer dropped 12%. Now, this was yesterday, and this is just kind of a nice summary. So let me get this off the screen and try to get through it before my computer dies so we can all have a good takeaway from this. So, accounting irregularities allegations. According to the Wall Street Journal, a U.S. attorney from San Francisco office has begun contacting some people who may know useful information in the case. This inquiry comes with charges hurled against the company by a former employee over accounting violations, which there's lots of receipts on that, like we just saw. I mean, a whole iceberg of receipts. Hindenburg Research Report on Supermicro. The DOJ just launched the investigation that comes on the back of a recent August report by Hindenburg Research. I wonder how long it took them to read that report. My God, they're the only ones that completed that report. Thing is lengthy. The report claimed to have found fresh evidence of accounting manipulation within Supermicro. Hindenburg's report was based on a 3-month investigation into the company. It concluded interviews of former senior employees and a review of litigation documents. The reports brought to light undisclosed related party transactions and export control violations. Stock impact on Supermicro. They delayed filing its annual report to the Securities Exchange Commission. Following the report, the company cited that it needs time to review its internal financial controls. Though the company denied the allegation, Supermicro shares plunged sharply as investors grew concerned. So they were supposed to have a report, and this investigation gets launched, and they go, maybe we double check those numbers. Oh, not a good look. Not a good look. Supermicro's participation in AI and market boom. AI applications require high performance servers that are manufactured by Supermicro. The company has enjoyed great benefits from the AI boom, considering its clientele lists like Nvidia, AMD, Intel, etc. So, pretty freaking crazy what is going on there. Now, let's just try to scroll back down a little bit here since the computer hasn't died yet, right? We'll ride this thing into the ground. Now, also, let's just take a look back over here at SPY. So it just hit my alert. There's a freaking fly in here. Just hit my alert, so I'm taking a look-see. Now let's see if we can break support here with 18 minutes left on the day. Maybe we'll turn the music back on too while we're at it. Maybe. Am I glitching? Don't tell me I'm glitching. Maybe it was just that song. I don't know. I think we're good, you guys. Alright. Looks like she wants to crack. Let's see.